So I'm just making a brief video. Had court today. It actually went a lot better than expected. Things have been just kind of so up and down anymore. I don't know what to expect. I had court the 28th. Had an attorney that was appointed to me. Had a judge that I felt was pretty impartial in my opinion, just based off of things that I was able to research. Same with the public defender. I don't know if most people know, but I've been fighting this case for almost 3 years now. Not this case in particular, but a portion of this case I've been fighting for almost 3 years now. A accused violation of a no contact order that they've been accusing me of for an insanely stupid amount of time, though they have nothing. They never have had anything. Finally, I was given an attorney that was not in a position to be intimidated or threatened by the prosecutors or the judges or any of who's been involved with Dawson's Place or any of the affiliates involved. My request to have Judge Weiss removed completely from any of my court proceedings from now on was accomplished today. Judge Weiss is the presiding judge from Snohomish County, who, in my opinion, is probably one of the biggest issues within the courthouse. He's a presiding judge, which means he's like their head judge through the Snohomish County courthouse. But there's several other judges that sit at that same playing level, except for he's kind of like the president of those judges, which he's a big part of this whole Dawson's Place conspiracy, as far as I'm concerned anyways. He made it very clear when being presented with my motions, and he literally wouldn't do his job. He wouldn't do his job. And I want to give praise to the one judge. You know, like I said, there may be one judge, there may be one public defender, and you know what, I really feel like things are just happening for a reason, the way they need to. You know, what hasn't killed me has made me an extremely strong person, mentally, emotionally, and physically. You know, my kids have had to go through a lot of this stuff with me, and I praise them day in and day out for everything that they've had to go through with me through all of this stuff. I couldn't be more blessed to have the amazing kids that I do have, and the support that I do have, even from the little people that I do allow in my life. You know, the support that I've had has been what was needed. You know, obviously I haven't tried to involve too many people in this, or, you know, obviously I make freaking YouTube videos about it, but it's because these things need to be made public. You know, this stuff is just being pushed away and swept under the carpet. These corrupt politicians and corrupt sheriffs and major crimes unit detectives and corrupt prosecutors and corrupt public defenders and corrupt private conflict attorneys. You know, now that I look back on things, it's pretty extensive, the amount of people that the prosecutors have in their grips, so to speak. You know, Gerchit Pander, he had a DUI that he got, and he represented himself but provided false and fraudulent information to the courts when trying to provide NA and AA slips to the courts, in which he falsified, and then he misrepresented himself. Well, the county decided not to pursue him criminally, but what they did do is grabbed him by the fucking balls and said, you're suspended for 6 months, but when you come back for your job, you're going to do whatever the fuck we tell you to. And that's exactly what's been going on. Thomas Cox, I would assume same situation. You know, they're trying to grab you by the balls because you fucked up, Tom. It just doesn't make any sense. How the fuck can you be a part of a victims advocate center but yet defend accused defendants through that advocacy center? You know, Jessica got help through Dawson's Place. She got money through Dawson's Place. And she's still, in my opinion, likely receiving benefits to pursue charges against me or to at least testify against me and so on and so forth. But this is all going to be coming to an end quite quickly. The attorney that I do have now is a young attorney. He has not been with the Public Defenders Association for very long. He's very well educated, I believe. He appears to be anyways. And he shares a very similar passion of mine, as well as I know I share the same passion as a lot of these other attorneys that have taken these avenues at defending people for their rights. And fortunately, he was very understanding to what I am trying to do and what I've been trying to do and why these other attorneys wouldn't do what he just did for me. And I just explained it. You know, the prosecutors have these fuckers by the balls. You know, when you fuck up and your job title is lawyer, judge, detective, prosecutor, you really put yourself in a world of hurt because you're already involved, and if you choose to not do as you are told, you are then prosecuted criminally. If you do as you're told, you keep your job, and you do things illegally for the benefit of the prosecutors. Well, unfortunately, I had two of those attorneys, three of them actually, Tiffany Ma, Thomas Cox, and Gurchit Pander. You know, the two other attorneys that I've prevailed with, Paul Thompson, he's a Superior Court judge now, and I forget the other guy's name, but he's kind of irrelevant. Oh, Joe McKittrick, another one. Pretty decent attorney. You know, honestly, he did as I needed him to do. Went in there, fought my trial, won it, presented it flawlessly. There wasn't a doubt in any of the jurors' mind when that trial was done that I was found not guilty. In every trial, there has not been a fucking shred of doubt. The only thing I think was a very fine line was this accused tampering of a witness charge that they tried to get me with. You know, it was 2 weeks after Jessica and I had separated. She had told me that she had been contacted by this detective. Well, at that time, nobody had contacted me. No detectives, no nobody. There were no charges filed. There was no nothing. Me knowing I have a previous criminal history, when I feel like a detective is trying to build a case off of nothing, I have the right to tell people, don't say anything unless you want something bad to happen to me, because all it is money to them. They see I have a previous criminal history. They see that they can get probable cause. That's it, period, end of story. There was nothing more than that. When Jessica told me that this guy contacted her, I said, hey, if you care about me and the kids, you wouldn't talk to this guy. I did not tell her not to talk to him. I did not threaten her to not talk to him. I just clearly said, if you care about me and the kids, you would not talk to this detective. They tried saying that was tampering with a witness 2 weeks after me and Jessica separated. There was no fucking criminal investigation. There was no anything. And you got caught in your own fucking lie there, Wolbotny, or should I say lobotomy. You know, I really don't give a shit. Found out today through the courts that these videos are being monitored. Good. Fuck you. Anybody that's monitoring them that takes any offense to it, it's for a fucking reason. You've been involved in it if you take offense to it, so fuck you. I got no problems telling everybody that's been involved, that's not done their job, to fuck off. Because you'll pay for it eventually. You'll sit in jail and you'll fucking pay for it financially. My life has been a fucking wreck for 2.5 fucking years. And I have done everything within my God-given powers to stay mentally sane, stay focused on what my goal is in all of this, and to achieve my goals. And those goals are going to be achieved regardless of what anybody else does. You know, the only thing they can do now is try to fucking murder my ass because they got no feet to fucking stand on. You know, I have like a very big relief, weight off my shoulders. You know, my motion to dismiss this court case was removed from the court file, the working copy for the judge to review this last case, or this last court date. The judge made me aware that he wanted to hear this motion, scheduled this date for me, specifically for me to be heard in front of this judge with my new attorney. Prior to that, when I had Regurgitate Pander, they had scheduled 2 hearings, an omnibus hearing for the 5th of July and a pretrial hearing in August of sometime. But once I was appointed this new attorney, I assumed those court dates were no longer valid. And I didn't go to court last Friday on the 5th because I did not have any adequate representation. I didn't have any representation, and nor was I notified that I needed to be there. So I didn't go. There wasn't any need for me to waste any more time than I already have wasted, you know. So I didn't go. I went in today as I knew to do. This was my date to be heard in front of a unbiased judge with a competent attorney, and I feel that was accomplished today. Spoke with the attorney for about 15 minutes outside of the courtroom, explaining a lot of the little details as much as possible without just fucking wasting his time. Went over a lot of different things, and you know, I definitely feel like this attorney is a godsend. You know, it's who I needed. It's been just kind of, this stuff has had to happen for a reason. You know, it may not be what I have expected through all of this, but, you know, these people are being exposed, whether or not it's on my behalf or other people's behalf, or at my expense. These people are being exposed still. You know, yeah, it may be at my expense, but it will be at the county's expense eventually, because there are damages, there are things that have been calculated to an extremely high amount. You know, I can't even begin to rattle off the amount of financial loss that I have endured through this 2.5 years. The courts have interfered with financial institutions in attempts to debilitate me from being able to provide for my family, and they've done that. They've done that. You know, I've lost my truck. I've lost my house. I've lost 3 houses, actually. I've lost jobs, lost my business, lost all of my company equipment. I lost all of my guns. I don't give a fuck about the guns anymore. I have my guns. I have a right to bear arms, and I have a right to be able to protect my family, and I have a right to due process and equal protection rights, as does everybody. As does everybody. The judge heard my motion. The attorney just flawlessly and without hesitation defended and told the judge everything that needed to be said, and did it through such a understanding way, and it was fully received. You could see the judge, you know, I'm very big on body language. I can read people very, very well. And from the moment he walked in, I knew he was skeptical, and that's to be expected. You know, I've said a lot of things that these people are quite concerned about because it involves them and the pursuit of them. And anybody that has involved themselves within what I've been presenting to the courts without taking regard to what I am presenting to the courts, they've wronged themselves. If you didn't take the time to read my motions, you've involved yourself, and that's not my fault, that's your fault. And particularly Judge Weiss. You know, I'm almost 100% positive there's a little weasel working for the fucking prosecutor's office. He's a fucking piece of shit. He's been depriving people of due process and equal protection rights for a long fucking time. And he'll get his through federal court. That's no threat. That's a promise. These people will all get theirs. You know, I may go through my up and down stages of where I'm fed up and done and throwing the fucking towel in. And, you know, physically, I can tackle the world. Mentally and emotionally, this has taken a lot out of me. Now, I haven't seen my son in 2.5 years, and it breaks my fucking heart. My kids haven't been in his life, haven't been able to do anything with him. You know, it would be so much different if things would have been just worked with as an adult. You know, I didn't want anything to do with Jessica, and that's what made her so fucking mad. I didn't want anything to do with her. You know, to be in my son's life is priority. And to say I don't want her in my life does not mean I don't want Roman in my life. But because I wanted Roman in my life and I didn't want her in my life anymore, and I wasn't willing to work her out, because it wasn't me that needed to work out. Yeah, I got fucking anger issues. I have fucking issues. And I'm not saying I don't. But you know what? The everything that went on in the relationship, I can take blame for the things that I did. I am not going to take blame for the things that she did on a consistent basis. And you know what? I loved her unconditionally. There were no conditions to my love. There were conditions to her love. It's whatever. You know, I did a lot. I risked a lot to be with that woman. I risked everything to be with that woman. I risked my job. I lost my best friend. I risked so much to be with that woman. I fought really hard to be with that woman. And I will always fight for my woman. You know, I fought for Jennifer too. You know, I can be as mad as I want about these things, and it won't change anything. You know, I don't blame Jessica. I don't blame Jennifer. Jennifer, she was a fucking heroin addict. There's a lot of reasons why Jennifer did what she did. And, you know, who knows? Maybe I'll go through some of my previous criminal history in a few videos, but it's not anything that I find entertaining to have to go over again and again and again. You know, I've been doing this stuff now for about 5 years through the court process and things like that with Marley and Tage and my divorce and now all of this stuff with Jessica. And, you know, I do want people to know, you know, kind of how things happen and, you know, what people can do to be aware and how people can be supportive for each other in relationships. And, you know, this whole 3 years has put a different light and perspective on things for me that have made me really forgiving about things to a degree. You know, I know that through Jessica's and I's relationship, I can count on one hand how many fucking arguments we had in 3.5 years. I have 3 of those 5 arguments audio and video recorded. 3 of those incidences all 5 of those incidences were pretty decent arguments. Fight, would I say? No, I wouldn't say a fight, because fight, in my opinion, is physical. Arguments, yes, 100%. And I take that back. There were 2 fights. Jessica did, on 2 different occasions, get extremely physical with me, to the extent of hitting me and cornering me in the room and pushing me back and not allowing me to leave the apartment or leave the house or get out of her space. You know, it was, I don't know, maybe 2 months after her and I separated, I actually sat down and read the 5 love languages, which I honestly wish I would have read it prior, in the midst of our relationship. It is very, very crucial for people to understand each individual person's love language. And, I neglected those things, and I'm man enough to admit it. I neglected things that Jessica needed from me. Yes, I was trying to build a company while working for a company and providing for my family and making Jessica happy, even though it never seemed like she would ever be happy with anything. I busted my ass to be a worthy person for Jessica. I always told Jessica she was out of my league. Jessica's in her own league. There is no being out of Jessica's league. She's her own league. I don't feel I was ever out of Jessica's league, but it made her feel really good. In all reality, there are no leagues that people are in. Jessica was a good Christian woman that was raised differently than I was. That's the only difference. She had structure to her life when she was growing up. I didn't. But to put a brand on that, like she was so much higher above me than I am to her, is just not even, it's not accurate. I look at everybody equally, and I don't discriminate against anybody for where they've come from. It's what they're doing. I don't give a shit about where you've come from. It's about what you're doing. I'm very happy, eager, excited. I have court September and October now, which I agreed to because the attorney that I have, I feel, will benefit this whole situation. He's actually moving forward with a NASDAQ motion, which pretty much disputes the probable cause and the initial arraignment and the initial filing of all these charges against me, as well as a vindictive and malicious prosecution through the prosecutor's office, in which I don't see either of those getting thrown out or dismissed. They're going to be fully complied with because of the federal statutes that are over these people's heads. They have committed felonies, and federal statute says that state law is invalid if federal laws are violated, and they have been. And it's going to be really interesting going into these, but I'm not sitting around waiting for this shit here anymore. Unfortunately, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I say unfortunately because I feel like I'm leaving my kid behind, and I am, but I don't have any other options. I would love to stay here and whirl and twirl and do everything I can to see Roman and be in his life. But I have 2 other children that I have to focus on that need me right now more than anything. This 2.5 years has been a insane struggle that none of us should have ever had to go through. I can't be more proud of my kids for standing next to me and being strong and being supportive and loving me, even when I'm a fucking asshole. I am blessed with amazing children that love me unconditionally because I have made mistakes, just like we all do. But I live for them, and I live to make them proud, and everything I do is for them. You know, I can hope and pray that when Roman is of age, that he will want to know who I am. Unfortunately, Jessica has made it like this. And it is what it is. You know, by the time she realizes she really fucked up, which I'm sure she already has, I'll be long gone, and there won't be finding me. It'll just be gone. You know, I have a lot of family in Wyoming, a lot of family in Colorado and Utah. I got a lot of family in Idaho too, but that's expected for me to go to. So, you know, I don't plan on going anywhere that I'm going to be expected to be going to. So, likely Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, somewhere around there. Colorado sounds kind of cool. Still got gun rights, and they still have legal pot. What more can you ask for? Just kidding. I don't smoke anymore. But I do love my guns, and Washington fucking sucks. Everything that's changed up here has just made this a fucking liberal state. And they can have it. You know, I'm good with visiting. I don't need to bring my arsenal when I come to visit. I will be making a trip back, obviously, after we do move for court, but we will be moving as soon as possible, within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So, oh, good old Washington State. Loved ya. You know, it's not anything that I want to do, but it's not the state's fault, it's the people's fault. Excuse me. You know, I am 100%, I am extremely thankful for YouTube. You know, I've not been on Facebook much at all. I rarely get on there and check anything at all anymore. If it is, it's mainly for my videos for YouTube. And, you know, I've been blessed with being able to find YouTube creators positive and uplifting, and just have a different outlook on things that have made a lot of these really dark times for me a lot easier for me to deal with. You know, I have been struggling with extreme depression, but at the same time, you know, I'm still maintaining, and I am doing everything that I have to do. This has just been an extreme struggle for me to have all this stuff going on. You know, I'm wanting so bad to just be a good father for Roman, Marley, and Tage, and to just give them the most amazing life that they could ask for. You know, that's what I want. I want to be the example they need growing up. You know, I love y'all. Thank you, everybody, for the support through all of this. There, like I've said several times, there will be more federal stuff to come from all of this stuff, and federal lawsuits, and so on and so forth. And my rights have been reserved through the state courts to still be able to pursue certain avenues against Snohomish County. And it'll be done. It will be done, including all of the judges and everybody involved. But again, I thank everybody for the support, and just keep praying for us. We'll be taking a road trip, see where we land. But I will likely be videoing the whole trip and things, and obviously I'll keep the people posted that are in my life. But other than that, if you want to know what's going on, subscribe to the channel. like every video, and hit the bell notification so that you get notified, so that you are notified when I post a new video. I've been juggling so freaking much. I have been doing a lot of daily vlogs, but I have not been posting them. A lot of things are really more therapeutic for myself. Like I've stated a few times, I don't talk to people. I don't have a lot of time to be able to get these things off of my head and be able to voice my opinion or anything at all. And so this has been an extreme outlet for me to be able to at least just say these things. I don't care how many people see it. I don't care how many people watch it. It's a matter of, this has been for me to be able to get these things off of my chest so that I don't have to sit and think about it and drown in the fucking worry that I have on a daily basis. And I thank YouTube for creating this platform for YouTube creators to be able to get on here and do what they do. Been watching a lot of Ryan Upchurch. Guy's so comical. It's just freaking hilarious, and just shit, he deals with haters all the time. It's just one of those things. There's gonna be haters everywhere. I personally, I don't care. I'm a lover, not a hater. Definitely thankful for a lot of the YouTube creators. David Dobrik's one of them too. The guy is hilarious. That whole Vlog Squad crew. But I'll definitely be keeping everybody posted with kind of everything that is going on. I don't have court for now like a month and a half, so there won't be any court updates. Next video you guys will probably see is the travel to wherever it is that we end up going. Goodness, the lighting is so weird on my phone. The video is going to be all weird. But stay tuned for the road trip, and stay tuned for everything. Lots to come. Lots to come. I can't really say too much. I don't like jinxing things, but I've already started a few different things for the business that I will be creating, and I love everybody. Thank you for being supportive. A lot of people don't know how to contact me, and that's okay. I don't want a lot of people contacting me. I've been getting Facebook messages from people that I don't even know, and I'm not gonna accept requests and things that I'm not okay with doing. There are still things going on, like I've stated. There's still a stalker. I really don't give a shit. It's a matter of, she's trying to find out information on me, and it doesn't fucking matter to me anymore. Good for you. Live your life. Be happy. Find somebody that can deal with your bullshit. It's fucking whatever. It is what it is. I'm moving on with my life, and I think at this point in time I have a lot of weight off of my shoulders to be able to do so. No, I never got closure through my relationship and the separation with me and Jessica. Obviously, there won't be a lot of closure until I'm in my son's life. I don't give a fuck what happened with me and Jessica anymore. It's whatever. I don't fucking care to know. That's just how it'll have to be. But I love y'all. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Love y'all. Have a great day.